Good evening, Facebook Livers. Here we go again with another remote podcast. Hi, I'm Dino. There's John Whitney. There's Greg Hansberry. You're catching what we call the pregame of our recording of Whiskey Business. You'll see all the behind the scenes hijinks that we do before we actually record this for posterity on YouTube. Well, this will air raw on YouTube, but for the audio that Hansberry puts together,
Yep.
We'll be editing that up, but you guys get to see everything. So good evening to anybody who's with us already. If you are, I'd love to see your comments. Hansberry will be monitoring those throughout the podcast. John Whitney, are we tired, Johnny? You big yawn?
Do we bore you?
No. I was going to say that we're also live on YouTube.
Oh,
So
we are?
Yes, we're simulcast. We simulcast last week too.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. All right.
There's a
We
lot.
We have the technology, and I am a little sleepy. Yeah, I fell asleep on the couch last night. I mean, I didn't mean to. I was
Right.
watching this show on Amazon about these comedians that were trying out to go to the like New Faces at the
Right. Over at
Montreal.
the Montreal Comedy Festival. Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching that documentary, and like about 11 o'clock, I think I fell asleep, and 5:30 in the morning, I was still lying down on the couch.
I know.
So I
man.
didn't get good sleep last night. So
The couch. I fall asleep on the couch all the time, and it's horrible sleep. But I love the couch. But
yeah.
Hey, Ricky Andreessen, right out of the get go.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how I can comment. That was me. But I have to open up the two different.
I think we can figure out that we can figure out. Oh, you want him to know it's actually you?
No. Like I can't. Just weird tech. I have like two different tabs open, but it's on a delay, so I'm just freaking myself out.
Mhm.
Ah! It's like I feel like Wayne's World when they get introduced to new equipment and
Right.
gizmos. We need to invest. I know this is maybe we can find a donor. Green screen technology. Huh?
Right?
Like,
Yeah. I want to try that.
No?
I know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I wanna be on the-
green
I'm on the
screen
bridge of-
technology.
Yeah, I want to be on
Yeah,
the bridge
do
of
it
the
all.
Enterprise.
Hell yeah. I know that they do that on Zoom. On Zoom, you can pick your backgrounds. when
Yeah,
they're
the
doing
Zoom you
chat.
don't need a green screen. I think on this
They supply you with ones. Yeah. Oh man,
you need one
any
for-
technology you can bring to this, let's go. Let's do it from the moon. Let's do that.
That's right. All right, you ready to get started, man?
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
Brian Stumpo's with us.
Let's
We got,
Stumpo.
let's. I'm
gonna
gonna
go
do
single screen.
the cold open,
Yep.
and we'll take it from there. Ready?
Let's do it.
Tonight on Whiskey Business, we've got whiskey distillers who make sanitizer, musicians fighting their way through COVID-19, comedy clips, maybe even some ridiculous country music. It's a variety show on Whiskey Business.
Cool. All
All
right.
right. And now the actual open. Ready? Here we go. The natives are getting restless. Yeah, the natives being us, still in stay-at-home status all across the country and right here in central Ohio with a little tease of potential freedom in the making. May 1st, certain businesses with restrictions get to open back up. But some people are taking that almost as a carte blanche, like that means we can all go and do whatever we want. No, not necessarily the case. But it is hope and promise that, maybe we'll start to inch back into something that resembled our normal lives before all this happened. Maybe. But it's not without the definite stain of permanence, my friends. A lot of things that are in place now are going to be the new normal. And you know what? We're probably going to adjust because that's what we do. Before 9/11, what do you mean? I got to take my shoes off and go through a far more involved process to get on the plane. What do you mean? My loved ones can't see me off at the gate anymore. And yet, years later, we don't think twice about it. So maybe some of the things that might stay permanent and moving forward might actually become commonplace and normal, and we won't think twice about it. We'll just be happy to go back to something that resembled our normal lives, like this podcast. I can't wait to actually sit across from somebody again in my house or on location someplace and actually interact with them and look at their faces, face to face, or read their body language and actually realize that they're not telling me something that I want them to tell me. But this has been the next best thing. And we're thrilled that you're joining us once again on Whiskey Business. Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey, coming to you remotely once again from my home and the homes of Let's See the Boys, shall we? Greg Hansberry on the audio side.
What up, guys?
And then John, the amazing John Whitney on the video side, doing everything we can. We've got a lot of fun on tap for you tonight. This is probably as close to a variety show as we're going to get on Whiskey Business.
I'm excited about it. I got a dance number worked out if we have enough time.
Do you really?
Hope it doesn't get cut for time.
Oh, you could. Yeah.
I'm going to break out the floss, baby.
You're going to break out the floss. My question to the two of you, though, before we actually get moving on things and Hansberry gets to the business, is I'm very curious, because I'm looking at myself and I'm looking at my mess of a mop of hair, and I'm looking at you two so wonderfully coiffed. Yeah, I know hair salons aren't open. What the hell?
My wife did shave the back of my neck the other night. Does that make you?
Yeah, hey, that's kind of sexy.
Hey, great jeans. I don't know. I go from long hair to short hair to long hair to short hair all the time. So I just
but it always looks nice. I mean,
I did just go comb it at least. I've tried
to comb it. I can't.
Put the product in there.
It doesn't. I do have product in there. It doesn't even. You know what the problem? It doesn't grow long these days so much as it just grows out. It grows out. And if I didn't have any product in this hair right now, I'd have the closest thing to a perm.
I like it. I've been proud of my son. I gave him a quarantine cut, just a buzz cut, and I used the clips on the clip, on the buzzers have numbers, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and I used a number 2 on his side. So that's been my son's joke for the past week: is, hey, I'm gonna use a number 2. I'm gonna take a number 2 to your side of your head.
Take a number 2 to your side of your head.
So he's like, I'm gonna go number 2 on your head, and I'm like, actually, son, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
He's got your sense of humor for sure. And I also saw today they had a big chart of facial hair as to what they considered acceptable for wearing the masks. If the masks may not be beneficial, if you don't know, that would have had a big X on it. Your beard would have had an X. You would not be getting the same benefits from wearing a mask that someone like Johnny Whitney, who was clean shaven, or I got a little stubble, but I would receive the full benefit of the mask. You, Hansberry, would not. Before we get to a couple of notes, before we bring in our guests, let's get to the business, shall we, Hansberry, and let everybody know what they're supposed to do.
Well, yeah, you can subscribe to today's variety show, Whiskey Business, on your favorite podcasting app, iTunes, TuneIn, iHeart. Wherever you find your podcasts, go ahead and do that. Also, if you're watching us right now on Facebook or YouTube, thank you. You can actually subscribe to us on YouTube. Click the little bell. I think it's down here. And you'll get notifications whenever we post a live video or something new. You'll get an update for that. And on Facebook, go ahead and like us somewhere over here, I think, and share right now to all your friends. I mean, come on, it's a Wednesday night. Nobody's got anything to do. Just go ahead and share this and spend the next hour or so with us. Instagram, Twitter. We've got the new fancy website, whiskeybusinesspod.com, where you can find everything. But other than that, just share and, who needs, we don't need an excuse to drink and hang out anymore.
No, we don't need an excuse to drink anymore.
Here we are.
We really don't. But we had a couple of excuses to drink. I want I want to say a belated happy birthday to our audio producer, Greg Hansberry, who had a
Birthday,
birthday
Greg.
on Saturday.
Thank you.
How old? How old were you?
36.
36.
A young 36.
A young
36.
36. I'm closer to 40
36.
than 30.
Wow.
And,
I've known you,
you know.
did I know you were like in your 20s when I met you.
Yeah, I think we were like 27 or 8 when I first moved here.
Wow. Look at you. Look at my boy all grown up. Shucks.
Shucks.
Yeah.
It was your birthday yesterday, right?
Yesterday,
Dino.
yesterday I started into my 6th decade in this world. I turned 61 years. 60 freaking 1 years old. Not a young 61.
A young 61.
No.
Wait, what'd you do? I didn't even really hear about your day. Did you just lay in your PJs?
Oh, my
all
day
day?
was incredible, man. It was incredible. There were like 30 or 40 people came over. There was a lot of slow dancing, cheek to cheek.
Nice.
Everybody shook hands and high fived when they came in. And then to actually celebrate my birthday, we all did birthday shots out of one whiskey bottle, and nobody wiped it off. It was
Perfect.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Woo, 61.
Yeah. Nothing. It was very quiet. It was nice. It was nice. The 60 was good. And interesting you mentioned, what did I do? Because later on in the show, we got so much on tap for tonight. We got Rudy Alexeeff from High Bank Distillery. We're going to talk about how that company and a lot of other whiskey companies locally and all across the country are doing their part in fighting COVID-19 with hand sanitizers. So we're going to talk about that process. Dave Powers will be joining us in just a little bit. He just wrapped up his Facebook Live at 5 program. He'll tell us how he and other musicians are struggling and getting through this and still finding a way, to put out their product and make a living. And from 11 years ago, John Whitney has pulled together, speaking of a party, my 50th birthday. That's why I said I don't really care what I do on my birthday, because my 50th birthday was a roast at the Funny Bone Comedy Club that was recorded. And that was 11 years ago. Hard to believe. But Whitney has dug through the footage, and we're going to share some of those clips
Let's do it right now, because we're starting to get to about a quarter after right now. So we can probably roll that.
We're going to roll that later.
What time are we rolling that thing?
I told you, Rudy,
after
Dave, and then Rudy, Dave, clips, and then
you're screwing with John's schedule here.
No, I told him that in the beginning. I told him that before.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, Rudy's he's in the wings. He's ready to rock.
Yeah, Rudy, Dave, the clips, and then this silly little country song that got not released. I don't know what you call it. Shared this week. Coors Ain't Corona. We'll do some of that fun stuff as well.
That's right.
But are you okay, Johnny? Or is that okay? Is that process okay?
Yeah, we're good. Let's do it. Whatever we want to do here.
All right, then let's do it. Let's look at that right on time when we're going to bring them in when we said we would bring them in. One of our recent podcasts was at High Bank Distillery. We went live on location down there and filled it. We had a great time and found out all about High Banks and all the great stuff they're doing and the great product they put out. So when we started talking about the current wave of hand sanitizers, how all these whiskey companies and whiskey distilleries started making sanitizer, we wanted to talk to somebody. So since we'd already been at High Banks and got a tour of that place, there's a lot of folks that we all love that we could have had on. But we went with somebody that we'd already visited because our friends at Echo Springs could have done it. Our friend Chad at 451 could have done it. But we're actually going to go to those places and give them their fair due to find out about their whole operation.
And we want to drink their juice, come on. We want a free pour. Let's get to the bottom of it.
So we were hemming and hawing which way to go. And we landed with Rudy. Am I pronouncing it right? Alexeeff?
You know what? That's so close. We might as well just leave it there. I've had
how do you say it?
Whole life. If you said the letters L, X, and then F together, Alexeeff, that's how you say it.
I blame you.
Yeah, well, it's definitely my fault.
I blame you. I blame your heritage, and I blame your family's last name. You have 2 E's and 2 F's in your name. So immediately you lean towards Alexeeff, the double E. So that's your fault.
This has been a problem for generations, Dino. This goes back, this is my father's father's problem.
Mhm.
And they passed it on like bad genes. So
The people at Ellis Island changed it to this. You should have seen what it was before.
yeah, well, you know what? Like I wonder actually. So it's Russian, right? So it was spelled gobbledygook anyway. So
Right.
nobody really knows what it is. So,
And I mean, I get the 2 E's, I'll accept that, but do you really need the extra F?
listen, you know who I actually blame? I actually think it was the French, because when they left Russia. Let's blame France. When
Let's
they
blame France for
they
everything.
landed in France, and I think that's when they were changing. They went with a different alphabet, and so I actually think it's the French. It's the French. It's their problem. Why my Russian last name has 2 F's at the end.
Damn frogs.
Yeah,
It just, from outside looking in, the extra F, it seems a little unnecessary.
it's superfluous. It really is. It's like completely so is the E. It's not even a long E sound. Let's just.
It's not. No. At least it could be a long E, but it's not.
Extra letters all around, and that's how people describe me. So
By far the most difficult last name conversation we've ever had on Whiskey Business.
You're welcome.
You're
Congratulations.
the only one, I think.
Yeah,
Important conversation, though.
So you are the brand ambassador, yes? For
I
High Bank?
am. I am. Fortunately for them, but yes, I am. I'm the guy they picked to represent High Bank.
Did you have a history in being an ambassador in respects to whiskey? Were you a connoisseur, lover, an appreciator of the fine spirit before you took this position?
I was, and Adam and I are have been whiskey fans for a long time, and so we enjoy a good cocktail together. We enjoy good whiskey together. But I've been a bartender for a long time as well. So I did a lot of imbibing, I think, is how I became an expert. It's like some people study in the books and then other people study like real life. And so I didn't read a lot about whiskey. I just started drinking a lot.
Yeah.
On the job training.
On the job training,
I so much love the word imbibe as opposed to I've done a lot of imbibing as opposed to I've done a lot of, when you say I've done a lot of imbibing over the course of my life, that sounds so much nicer than I've done a lot of boozing or I've done a lot of drinking over the course of my life.
I try to pretend that I'm a professional.
So imbibe's the way to go. Speaking of which, before we get into everything that you guys are doing now to help the battle against COVID-19, I forgot to mention the guest bottle tonight. This is bottle, I believe, 128. Tonight, it's a bottle of Old Elk bourbon out of which eventually, before it's all said and done, will be completely distilled out in Colorado. Right now, it's being distilled in Colorado, New York, and Indiana. It's about 4 years old. It's a 2018 winner of the San Francisco International Spirits Competition. And does the name Kurt Richardson mean anything to anybody? Anybody?
Oh, Kurt, yeah.
Yeah. As if the guy didn't make enough money by being the genius behind Otterbox. The cases,
the phone
cases. Yeah, he got into this business. Yeah, so he is the genius behind Otterbox.
You got money to spend,
yeah, he wanted to do it. And here's the remarkable thing about the Old Elk: much like the Otterbox, if you drop it, it doesn't break. That's a lie. That's a complete falsehood, a complete lie. But it's actually pretty good, about $50 a bottle, 88 proof. They have what they call a slow cut process. As far as the proofing goes, they do it over the course of a couple of weeks with the waterproofing, as opposed to the usual 24 to 48 hours, which I think they attribute to the smoothness of the bourbon. But it is pretty good. It's pretty smooth. What are you drinking, Hansberry?
I'm just saying, that's what they need, is a phone charger or phone case built in to the bottle. And
that's a good idea. Yeah.
But I've been nursing an Eagle Rare. Go ahead with your Old Elk.
I went with the Old Elk because I'm old, and Johnny's got an Old Elk Forester. Yep. So that's the guest bottle for tonight. Pretty good stuff. Interesting little mash bill in it too. Has the lowest amount of corn that you're allowed as for bourbon, and way more malted barley than most, and a little about 15% rye to give it the spice. But that might attribute to the smoothness. It's an overused word in the bourbon world, smooth, but it is. So that's the guest bottle for tonight. As we go back to Rudy,
Rudy, you have to switch to your phone.
I switched to my phone. It looks like I got booted off.
Yeah, you froze for a minute.
Did I freeze? All right. So is it still good? Are we still good?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
As long as you can hear me.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna be good. All right. Good.
All right. Cool. So, brand ambassador for whiskey, but you guys aren't making whiskey right now.
Well, we're still making whiskey. So we're still making whiskey. We're not the production level. We've slowed it down a little bit because obviously we're not supplying to bars right now.
Right.
But people are still buying whiskey in grocery stores and at liquor stores all over, and so we are still making whiskey. We've just sort of curtailed it down a little bit.
Okay, much like everybody has.
Yeah.
Circumstances. I first heard the sanitizer story. I think it was like on CBS this morning. There was a distillery. I first heard about it in Georgia, where people were making sanitizer, and then that does seem to catch on. Where then a lot of distillers started to say, "Yeah, we can utilize our production lines and do the same thing and help out." And I think almost every local distiller is doing that. And it's still, look at all those bottles. It still doesn't seem to be enough. All of you are making it, and it still doesn't seem to cover all the bases.
We can't keep up. We're selling out. We sell out every day. And so we're constantly in production, making more and more. I think we've done a little over 1,000 gallons.
Wow.
And so we've filled about 10,000 of those 200 milliliter bottles so far, and then we've done about, I think, 2,000 32 ounce bottles. And we're constantly making more, so we've had to, luckily, one of the good things is we've been able to bring back some of our staff that we had to lay off.
Nice.
And so we've been able to bring some of them back and get them back to work and making sanitizer and bottling for us. So it has been, it's not just been a good thing for our community and just general health, and trying to beat this thing. It's also been good for us to bring back some familiar faces too.
Yeah. So as a brand ambassador, when you go out there and you push the whiskey and convince people to get the High Banks product, as a brand ambassador, are you now pushing the sanitizer or what's your approach?
This stuff is so clean. You got to try it.
Look at my hands. These are the cleanest hands in the whiskey business.
Smell them.
Look at
them.
them.
Your hands real quick. Let me show you. Is that on your rug? Let me get that. No, we don't have to advertise at all because we're selling out so fast. And one of the things that we decided right at the beginning, and you guys might know this, but we decided that any health worker, right, or any first responder that needs sanitizer, they come in, they show some ID, they get it for free. Right. And we've also offered to hospitals and places like that to get to them for free. Luckily, a lot of them have budget. And so they've been a lot of them have been paying because, they can afford to, which has been good because it's offsetting some of the costs for us. We're committed to we're committed. This is not a money making thing for us. We're not actually making any money. If we break even, we're going to celebrate. Because we're trying to do our part really. So that's what the sanitizer thing is for us. It's just trying to do our part.
Okay. So you're using your facilities to make the hand sanitizer, but let's be honest, and you've lowered the production, but once you're back to full production on whiskey, what we're going through now isn't going to disappear in those months. It's going to continue. So will you continue to make, will it go the opposite way? Will you still continue to make hand sanitizer as we go through this? Because we're going to be going through this. This is going to
at least through fall.
Fall, winter, next year. I mean, we're not. It's not going to go away.
We don't. There's. I hate to step in the shoes of Dr. Amy Acton right now, but I don't know the course of pandemics, right? And so if it turns out that the companies that have been producing hand sanitizer for the United States are not able to catch back up and then keep up and then ramp up their production,
Right.
I imagine that all distilleries will have this as maybe a small part of what they're doing to keep things going. I don't think we'll be able to sustain being able to give it away for free like we have been to everybody, but if it's something we need,
asking you to either. I think you're just doing it out of generosity and being philanthropic in that sense, giving it to people that need it right now, as we are truly on the front lines of this, still fighting it diligently day after day. But when it actually becomes just a product, another product that High Banks offers, I don't think anybody's going to blow you any shit for selling it.
I don't think so. And there's been some people who have, we even partnered with you. I think you showed one of the pictures there where we did a partnership with the Only in C-Bus podcast. And, Tim did a buy one, give one thing. And it sold out. It sold out in 3 hours.
Wow.
And so people do want to be generous and they do want to pay for it, and they were paying for theirs and then also covering the cost of the one that we were giving away for free. So we gave some away to some nursing homes and to, some like some food pantries and things like that, they don't have like huge budgets to like go, hey, I'll purchase that for $80 a gallon, because that's some of the places that are still making it are now charging a ton. And so some of these places, they don't have budget for that. And so it was cool to do a little partnership and then watch the generosity of people. And then they sold out in 3 hours, and then we had to do another one the next week because, I think we've given away, I don't know, almost 3,000 bottles, 2,500 bottles or something like that.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Now, I know you're not like on the back lines necessarily, and I know, for in layman's terms, how do you make this shit? You just like instead of adding, all the hops and barley and malt and stuff, you just add aloe. What's the deal?
You start with the grain neutral spirit, right? So you start with the grain neutral spirit. You make it really, really high proof. So you have to put it through, and then you do have to do some additives. Like you had this like glycerol or something rather another, and then you also have to, no, not that. That's stay away from that stuff. But and then you also have peroxide. Then you add peroxide to it as well, and so that's sort of the basic definition of what sanitizer is. Yeah, and so it's not like a gel, right? So we're not adding those additives that make it a gel, but we're adding what's basic so that if you put it in a spray bottle, it's gonna do the job.
It's more of like a liquid form. You would pour it out.
Liquid
spray
form
bottle.
Spray bottle, that sort of thing.
Interesting.
It's that's what we can make, right? Without buying additional equipment and having to get to make a gel, you've got to get different certifications. You've got to get, you got to get inspected. You have to have all this stuff.
Aloe
We're
bushes.
able to make this kind right now.
But can you drink it? That's the big question. Can you
drink it?
Little scent bubbles.
Right.
Bath and Body Works.
It's a big question.
That's a mess.
Yeah, Johnny's question: how is the sanitizer on the rocks? Is it good? Is it good? Can it clean you on the inside?
Listen. I would love to say in a pinch, but it is clearly a do not drink.
Good.
Clearly,
it is clearly a do not drink. Yeah.
One last question before we go, because we got Dave Powers coming up here in just a couple of minutes. I asked the boys this earlier, and I have to ask you as well.
Sure.
Who's cutting your hair? God damn it! Your hair.
Well, it looks good.
Look,
so
everybody gets haircuts except me.
Oh my God! Look at that! You got your own clippers. What are you doing?
Just get a little.
Somebody take a number 2 to your head.
There's when there are people that are in your quarantine circle, that you've already been exposed to on a regular basis that happen to have that as a profession.
Yes.
then you're able to take advantage of such things, right?
All right.
And so,
Okay.
I mean, I'm speaking for a friend. I don't know.
You're speaking to your friend. You're going
yeah,
the long
speaking for a
way
friend.
around, but I get it. It's a
Yeah.
nice haircut. I'm just jealous. That's all I am. I'm just
You know, I wish I could give you mine, my friend. I do.
Should have
That's
married
okay.
a
That's okay.
barber.
It'll happen soon enough. It'll happen soon
will.
enough. Rudy, thank you,
It
man,
will.
so much for being with us. You're more than welcome just to hang out because Dave Powers is coming up. If you have nothing else to do, you're more than welcome. If it was on television right now, you'd just be moving on down the couch.
Move the couch.
That's it.
So if you want to move on
I'll
down the
hang on.
couch and hang on, let's do it as we welcome our.
Wait, hold on. Before Rudy, tell us where and how we can find this stuff. You know, can we come and buy it at the bottle shop or what?
Oh, yeah, totally. So we're not open on Mondays, but the bottle shop is open starting at noon every day. We're extending our hours. We've been closing at 9. But you can stop in the bottle shop. We do limit 1 bottle per person when you come in per day, just because we're trying to get it to as many people as possible. But you can always come in and do that. And then if you buy whiskey, you buy a T-shirt, you buy something like that, we discount it for you.
Nice.
So you can come in any of those days to do that. And get that. And then our food starts at like 4 p.m.
I was going to ask that next. Can you have a delicious menu there? You could do carry out.
Good.
Yes,
And the whiskey,
yes, you can. Yeah.
the whiskey is phenomenal. I mean,
it's super good. Adam is a brilliant guy. So our spirits are tasty delish.
It's one-stop shopping: food, whiskey, and sanitizer.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can get it all, and you can get masks there now.
I'm just going to move in. What the hell?
Yeah.
Why do I have to come home? I got kids and a wife. I can't escape. I'm going to move to High Bank.
That's it. You're welcome. I'll set you up a little cot in the back.
I'm in.
Yeah,
Rudy Alexeeff with 2 E's and way too many F's
so many.
has been with us. If you're joining us and listening audio-wise somewhere down the line, Rudy, thanks again, man. I appreciate it. Like I said, brother, just move on down the couch, as we say. Thank you for being here. We'll talk soon. We'll do this face-to-face someday. And that would be great. But thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it.
You got it. Next pours on me, gents.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Ladies and gentlemen, through all of this, it's been interesting how the creative community, us podcasting remotely, have done our part to figure out how to do this on a weekly basis. Comedians are putting out videos and doing shows online, and musicians who I consider to be really probably the most chameleon-like of all the entertainers out there, because no matter what the situation might be it a recession in 2008, a tragedy, 9/11, COVID-19 as we speak, they still find a way to get in there and make the music happen. Please join me in welcoming a dear friend of mine, a longtime friend. I call him the king of keyboards, the prince of plunkers, the Mr. Incredible of the Ivory. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Dave Powers, everybody.
Hey, how are you doing, everybody? Good to see you all and talk to you all. And man, I really enjoyed listening to Rudy talk. He's the only second Alexeeff I've ever met in my life.
Who's the first?
Victor? Are you related to Victor Alexeeff?
I know Victor.
Victor Alexeeff is my uncle.
What?
No kidding.
No
Victor
shit.
Alexeeff.
I know Victor too.
Yeah.
So he was in Mills James for years and years and years.
Correct. And he lives out in California still?
Yeah.
Yes, he does, in LA.
I've known Victor for over 30 years. And
I've known him for about a little bit longer than that.
Well, I'm sure you have. I want to go back and listen to the way you make hand sanitizer too. We've been just kind of curious how that is, and I know that things that you can't find in the stores. I know that my wife and I went shopping today, and you can't find isopropyl alcohol in the stores.
Right.
Nor is it hard to find. It's also hard to find aloe vera gel, because some people are learning. They're learning about the secret to making hand sanitizer, and you guys have all of that going on, which is really great. And it's really great service that you're doing anyway, too. Just, I'm just giving you a shout out, Rudy. I really enjoyed listening to what you had to say. I tuned in a little bit late because I do a Facebook Live show 3 nights a week, called Facebook Live at 5. And it's on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 5 to 8. And it's fun. I mean, and so this is what the musicians have been doing. So for your information, the other guys over there, Dino, thanks for the shout out in. And it's great to be here, by the way, but it's what all the musicians are doing these days. They're doing live Facebook Live shows.
And that's what I meant when I said you guys are like the chameleons of this entertainment world.
Right.
Where you find a way to keep making the music and getting it out there, no matter what the case might be. I'm sure when the recession hit and, oh, hey man, we can't afford to pay you, this week because, business is down. We're going to have to cut your Tuesday night type of thing. When things happened during 9/11 and everything was shut down for a while and everybody was kind of carefully and cautiously looking both ways before they crossed the street of life, everything took up, but you guys still managed. And you being the journeyman that you are in the music world, you've been through various lean times over the course of your career. Right?
Sure, I have. Yes, I have. I've been through some lean times. That's for sure. Fortunately, I wasn't through a lean time when 9/11 happened, but what I've been blessed with and fortunate is the venues that I played at are mostly restaurants, high-end restaurants. Mm-hmm. And business was still business as usual, which was good. But during this whole COVID-19 thing is when the game really changed, when everything was shut down. And I think for a long time, even when we're supposed to open back up and be back to normal, it's going to be a few months, I think, until the restaurants really go, because most of the restaurants are still going to have to stay at half the capacity.
Right.
So that, live music is going to be not really in the cards just yet. But the thing is that what I like about what I'm doing now, I'm doing this like everybody, all these other musicians are doing it. Everybody's doing Facebook Live. I'm also trying to do a YouTube stream coming up, and I'm 20 people shy from having 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Once I get that goal,
come on.
Then I can stream on YouTube at the same time as I can do Facebook Live. I think the streaming platform for YouTube is smoother than Facebook. However, I've made a lot of new friends on Facebook, which is really great. There's people all around the world that see me. I've got a new fan in Scotland. I've got people from Australia. Dino, I just saw you take a sip of that, and I'm going to join you with.
Are you drinking scotch from your friend in Scotland?
No, I'm doing old fashioned.
Oh, that's
very nice.
What's the whiskey in the old fashioned, if you don't mind me asking?
Is Rudy still on? No.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
No,
what is
it? A friend of mine turned me on. A friend of mine I'm too lazy to. I don't drink at home, first of all. I hardly ever drink at home. But now when I'm doing Facebook Live,
me neither.
No, I have a couple beers, but when I'm out working, sometimes I like to have, a cocktail. But this is the pre-made whatever you buy. It's the Watershed Distillery Old Fashioned.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. No, that's a fine bottle. I mean, as far as something that's already prepared and ready to go, they've done a wonderful job with that. So
right, it's just add ice. So it's
no muss, no fuss for Dave Powers. Just put it in a glass, and that's it.
Well, and I had to, have one to join the whiskey business crowd, right? So.
You can't muddle while you're playing the piano. I mean, come on. What the hell?
There's enough muddling going on.
No, but I'm not surprised because I know you're so meticulous and so zeroed in on your craft that you probably don't want to mess with it. I don't want to fucking make an old fashioned. I just want it right now. I play music. This is what I do. Just give me the drink.
That's right. That's right. I just plow away playing music. And when I do, when I work at my gigs, I do take long sets. I've been blessed with good kidneys, so I don't have to go to the bathroom too often, right?
Right. Right.
But I always do have water. There's purified drinking water. I always have that. So we always play it safe. We just enjoy a little taste, a little something.
I hear good things about water. I hear good things about it. I do. I hear good things about water.
I heard it's making it's making a comeback. I hear it's making a comeback in a big way. But anyway,
what did W.C. Fields say? What did W.C. Fields, my favorite quote, don't like to drink water, fish fuck in it.
right. Well, unless they purify the shit out of it. So there you go. Wow. So anyway, that's what I'm doing just to make things happen. And I got to tell you, and all the musicians, they play for tips. They don't. There's no salary. It's like, okay, everybody, just send me money electronically. Let's virtual tip jar.
Nice.
Let's make it happen. But I'll tell you what, I just have to, cut to the chase and say, for a positive note, I really enjoy what I'm doing. It's like going to work. Like I go to work, I shave, I put on a dress shirt, black jeans. So
Pants.
I mean, I make it look right. I don't
Pants.
go in a t-shirt and shorts, look like a schlub.
Right.
But I've had a lot of, it's wonderful because I still feel like I'm going to work. I prepare for it. I'm on about 10 minutes before the hour. I play a few player piano rolls just to get the game going. And then we take requests. I see the comments on Facebook and interact with people. But there's people that send me emails and messages saying, I really need this right now. I'm having anxiety and depression. I'm staying at home. I lost my job. I just got laid off. I mean, I hear a lot of stories and just saying, hey, we need this right now. Thank you for all that you do and for what you do. And wow, it took it up to the next couple levels for me.
I bet.
Yeah, it really impacted me. So as long as we have to do what we got to do, stay home, do this, not go out, I'm just going to continue to do it. And it feels good, and the tips are wonderful. The support is great. And even if it's, whatever, I just really love the fact that it's helping out a lot of people. So to get all serious on you guys before we laugh and joke and shit, but no, I'm just kidding. This is what really means a lot to me. And it's really great. So I love to entertain people. This is what I've done for 41 years.
Is there, I didn't ask you this beforehand, but are you in front of the piano as we speak or not? Or are you just...
Oh,
Hold on a
well,
minute.
imagine that. You mean this whole thing right here?
Yeah.
No. Here, let's do it right now. Let's take you portable.
All right.
Hey, hold on a minute.
And while Dave's wandering around his house studio there, we had Dave on Whiskey Business a long time ago when we first started the podcast.
We did.
So you can search through the archives and learn about, I mean, he's got a crazy history of I mean, he's a virtuoso. I mean, honestly. So it's fun to hear the stories that he's talks about growing up playing. And we also had him on a podcast that we did about
with the Hyde Park reopening down at the he was there. He was there as well.
So there's some good Dave content.
I can see that. Yeah.
So there it is, man. This is Command Central. When I do my Facebook Live thing, I'm holding my laptop in the air. I'm kind of an idiot, but I have my iPhone on a stand, and but this is what I do right here. I don't know what the sound sounds like. I'll play something for you.
It sounds great. These are difficult times. We'll take what we can get.
Okay, great. Let's do a Dean Martin song for my buddy Dino.
Ah, lovely.
One-handed.
Oh, you want one-handed? Sure, there you go.
No. Use them both. We want the full powers.
All right, I'll tell you what. Why don't I put it on when I do my Facebook Live stuff, I have a cooler next to me. I can't lie. It's got a few beers in it, some water.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to put it down there.
All right.
And we're going to turn it. There you go.
Yeah.
And hopefully it won't be too loud.
All right,
He's wearing pants.
Sing along.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like that fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back. Like that sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. There's sunshine enough to spread. It's just like that fella said. Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head? How's it sound, all right?
Man, beautiful.
Second verse.
Let's finish. All right, let's play this whole thing through.
Let's do it.
Piano solo then. Talk amongst yourselves.
I get paid by the hour. Keep going.
He started playing Dean Martin, and I told myself I wasn't going to have a cigarette during this podcast. When that happened, so I had to light up. I had to light up.
You're lighting up.
I did. I lit up.
Jesus. Hey, on a humorous note,
Yeah.
did you hear about the marriage counselor that hired a bass player to come in so the couple would start talking to each other again?
No.
No.
Just think about it for a minute. Like that fellow once said, ain't that a kick in the head?
Nice.
Like that sailor said, quote, ain't that a whole my head keeps spinning. I'm mostly ready. It's just the beginning. My life is gonna be beautiful. Yeah, they tell me that we'll be wed. She's picked out a king-size bed. I couldn't feel much better, or I'd be dead. Tell me quick, ain't love a kicker? Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head?
Hey, Powers, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Thank you so much, buddy. Loved having you on. Thank you. And I know you're going to get through this like everybody else because you, my friend, are the real deal and a survivor. So thank you so much for being with us. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure, man. Y'all be safe.
Johnny, technology-wise, can he still hang out and watch and do everything?
Whatever he wants to do. Yeah,
Here, wait, and then real quick, one more time.
We got Hansberry, get all the plugs in for Mr. Powers.
Dave, what's it? Remind us again where we can hear your Facebook concerts and all that kind of stuff.
It's facebook.com/Dave Powers Music.
Got it.
I think that's it. Dave Powers Music.
And when are you doing it? I forget. You said only 2 days.
It's called Facebook Live at 5, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 5 to 8 Eastern Standard Time.
Got it. And on YouTube too, you said?
Soon. I need more subscribers.
Okay.
Well, you're going to get them tonight, I think, man.
I
hope so.
All 8 of ours.
Dave, if you're doing Rat Pack stuff, I'm going to be listening every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, my friend.
Well, you just chime on in and say, hey, I'm here, and I'll play Rat Pack stuff for you.
That's my man.
I love it.
Dave Powers, man. A Columbus treasure, and now with Facebook Live at 5, with new listeners in Scotland, a worldwide treasure.
World treasure.
And a world treasure, not just a Columbus one, man. You're the best. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And I know you like to laugh, so stay right where you're at because
I do.
Earlier in the podcast, we mentioned that Hansberry had a birthday on the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
36 years of age. I turned 61 years of age.
What?
Yeah, 61. Yesterday was my birthday. And John Whitney dug into the archives, and on my 50th birthday, I've always said I don't care what kind of birthday I have after my 50th, because my 50th was this incredible roast at the Funny Bone, which my good friend Paul Anthony put together. And from start to finish, he had a crew come in to record it, and we made a DVD of it. The proceeds went to the Columbus Dog Connection, and it was just like, how do you have a better birthday than 250 people in a room celebrating it and a bevy of comics just blowing you shit about your entire life for 2 hours? So we thought that tonight, since laughter is at a premium these days and the smiles, that we would go back 11 years and share some of the moments from that roast. Johnny, whenever you're ready, roll it.
This has got to be from a VHS tape.
Away you boat, I better come now.
Oh my God.
You boat, I better come quick.
Oh my God.
I got some news.
Oh dear Lord.
No shit. That's you?
That's me.
And you were bitching about your hair earlier. Look at that.
50 years old. 50. We all lost money on that one.
My name is Giuseppe Luigi Balone.
Dino's quite a film buff. I don't know if you know this. Dino's written articles reviewing films online. He also owns thousands of movies and studies cinema classics, which makes it difficult to understand why he starred in so many shitty ones.
They say that Dino is a man out of time, that he is not of this time, that he's more suited for, say, the 1950s. Wouldn't you say that? Yeah, and I agree, but not because of his style or his class, but because, like somebody from the 1950s, he is blissfully ignorant of the effects of smoking or alcoholism.
I make the store tick and they make the store talk.
Where'd you get that?
Like a clock.
What can you say about Dino Tripodis that can't be summed up with the phrase cirrhosis of the liver? You guys looking so black, Vince Morris tried to get his stage time. If Dino had as many things in his house that kids like that he does that adult men like, people would think he was a child molester. I'm not saying Dino is secretly gay. I'm saying there's a house full of things that attract men, and every room is stocked with alcohol.
Dino gave me a real lucky soup.
Larry Raby.
Not a bunch of grapes or a flute. It made me $1,500 in Vegas and then about $300 to other places that make $600 and $1,500, which is about $400 of lucky soup.
Good God.
I love you.
Oh, look at that, man, the perpetual 5 o'clock shadow, that full
Jerry
head,
Elliott.
that physique, that persona, that rat pack thing you got going on. You're so talented, Dino. You're a comedian. You're an actor. You're a director. You're a screenwriter.
Yep.
You're a screenwriter. I mean, I could eat a bowl of alphabet soup and shit a better script in that last movie you did.
I'm a tailor in alterations. My father, he was a tailor in alterations. His father, he was a tailor in alterations.
What's that from?
As far as you go back in my family.
My
I'll
God.
explain after. I'll explain
Except for that
after.
brief time when there was leisure suits. Nobody was a tailor then.
He smokes. I like that about you, but you quit for a while. And then he went back when he discovered that without cigarettes, he had to talk after sex.
That's a great
Lighting
line.
up means you never have to say you're sorry.
That's that camera. Hey, man. Hey, yo, guys, man, check it out. Camera. I know you, man.
Oh,
That's
my
doing
God.
minutes, man. No.
But you
I
can
forgot
always
all
spot a
about
Dino
that.
fan. Dino has lots and lots of fans. Lots and lots of fans. You can always spot them because on their cubicle wall, they have a picture of Dino right next to their favorite Kathy cartoon. You can always spot a Dino fan.
And I'll never forget when Dino and I first met. Do you remember October 1988 at the Funny Bone at the Continent? We drank, we told jokes, we put salt on our ass and went down to the deer park. Hey, don't judge. The deer liked it. I liked it. Dino had a wonderful time.
Dino's told me that his resolution for this coming year is to get in shape. He wants to lose 150 pounds. I'm like, Dino, it's impossible. You can't lose 150 pounds. He said, sure I can. Her name is Sean.
What I want to say, because I really don't have anything
Ouch.
to say about you, because
Basil.
I was right there with you the whole time. We were together in underwear, sharing a condo in Baltimore.
It's true.
Dino was wearing his boxers. I was wearing my tighty whities.
True.
And after looking at you in the morning, no way I could go gay with you. I would rather suck Arendale's cock, for God's sake.
Oh my God!
Awesome.
Bravo!
Awesome.
Well done.
Nice
Let me
job,
explain some
Good
of
job,
those
John.
some of those archaic clips of me as a very, very young man. It's interesting. Even back then, I was all of 21. I was working at Lazarus downtown, which was now Macy's. Lazarus downtown, and they asked me to do these videos of all the different departments and,
was that what that was? Jesus.
do funny videos. So I did one in shipping, one in tailoring, one in I wrote it all. I recorded it all on a VHS. Hansberry, you were joking about the VHS, but I recorded it all on the VHS camera. And where Paulie found that, I think he got that from an actual documentary about Lazarus that was on PBS a thousand years ago. I was 21 years old. I was still in college when I did that. So
Oh Lord,
that's crazy. Yeah, well, I was 21. Yeah. But
Dino, I think you speak for us all when I just say solid performance.
Giuseppe. All those characters need to make a comeback here.
Oh man, Giuseppe, that's so funny. It's so funny. But yeah, that was 11 years ago. And if you guys noticed, they put me in a wheelchair for that particular roast at 50. I didn't need a wheelchair at 50. Now maybe a little different. But 11 years ago.
You can't go anywhere, so you're all right. Yeah.
I think I've held up pretty good for 11 years. Looking at that footage on stage, all things considered, not bad. Not bad.
You didn't look much different than you do now.
Let me see pictures of you guys from 11 years ago before you judge. Except Dave Powers. Dave Powers Dave Powers has made some sort of bargain with the devil in respects to your youthful appearance.
And Whitney, young.
Whitney, that was hysterically funny. Thank you, man, for putting that together. And
no problem.
Yeah, you've been talking about that for as long as I've known you, and I'm like, prove it. I don't think it exists. So I'm glad
it does exist. It does exist. It exists. It exists. And I got a whole box of them someplace. If you guys ever want to get rid of them, and have some. Right. Hey Rudy, if you need a coaster, we've got some DVD.
There you
go. we got them. All right, we're gonna close things out tonight with something current, if you will. And Mr. Powers, you would probably appreciate this more than anybody. A couple weeks ago, my good friend Boxer from WCOL had to announce on his social media that the Buckeye Superfest was canceled, and a lot of people were upset. That was going to be the big country concert at the Shoe, and I sent him a private text jokingly saying, "Oh man, I guess I'm not going to be able to hear Coors Ain't Corona." No such song, and he goes, and then I said jokingly, "Somebody should write it." He said, "You should." And I went, "Yeah, right." And then about a week later, I was up in my daughter's room, saw her guitar sitting in the corner, needs new strings, dusty as hell, out of tune. So I picked it up. And literally in 10 minutes, you know how this goes, Dave. In 10 minutes, I cranked out this silly little song called Coors Ain't Corona. At the time when I sent it to him, I just put it right on the iPhone, a very rough scratch track, and wrote 2 verses and a chorus. Since then, Mr. Powers, I have finished the bridge and completed the whole song. Woo. This isn't the whole song. This is what Boxer played on WCOL this week. He played a snippet of it. He's going to play it in its entirety later in the week. But
I'm impressed. I didn't know you played the guitar.
I don't. I have the guitar. I don't. When you hear it, you'll know that I don't. I play just enough. Well, we when we did our Christmas show, you helped me with my Christmas song. I Want to Be Santa Claus back in the day when we did that as a Christmas song. So you know that I dabble in that world. But
you dabble in a great way, my friend. Even when you did the old Mac the Knife, thing, the Christmas thing with Rick Brunetto's band.
Saint Nick the Elf. Yeah.
Oh, you
yeah.
nailed that thing. It was great.
Yeah. Fun. But this was fun too. And Boxer has been very generously sharing this on social media. And it seems like people are kind of digging it because it's in the moment. There was that whole thing when the coronavirus first hit that Corona sales dropped like 35% because people thought, some stupid people thought if they drank Corona beer, they were going to get the virus.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous. So while I never actually say that in the song, it's implied. And Johnny, whenever you're ready, we'll play this. Coors ain't Corona. And have at it.
This is from the Boxer show on Facebook.
This is just a little clip that Boxer played. This isn't the whole song.
All right, here we go.
Well, everybody's got a case of stay-at-home blues, sitting around with nothing left to do. Netflix streamed out, social life is muzzled. I'll be damned if I do another jigsaw puzzle, but the refrigerator's full and looky what's in the rear. Coors ain't Corona, guess I have another beer. Cause Coors ain't Corona, guess I'll have another beer.
Nice.
Yeah, Coors ain't
Corona.
I guess I'll have
another beer.
Don't ask me what day it is, I can't say. It feels like the day before yesterday. I got time on my hands, no hands on my.
It cut out.
Facebook. Come on.
It cut out. No hands on my face. All I do is sit around and pace.
Coors ain't Corona. Everybody now.
Yeah.
Well done.
Bullshit.
So Boxer's going to play it in its entirety later in the week. He said, if he does, great. Thank you, Boxer. Much appreciated. If he doesn't, we're going to do something with it now that there's a bridge. I wrote a bridge to it as well, Dave Powers. It needed a bridge. It was like a splinter in my hand that needed to be pulled out. It needed to be finished.
All right.
A fourth chord.
So
we'll make
like
sure it's
it,
on Whiskey
Coors
Business.
ain't Corona, I think I'll have another beer. That's great.
There's got to be
Write it down.
There's got to be a way that we could do a collaboration, Dino, between you and Dave on
Sure.
Corona, right? We
Yeah.
got to be able to manufacture that.
I know that with safe distancing, if I got Dave Powers and a couple of other local friends like Johnny Schwab and Mark Fry, we could probably actually put together a real arrangement and record it for real.
Put a whole record together
in its entirety.
We can do it.
We could probably do that.
Let's make it happen. I'll bring the whiskey. I'll bring the whiskey, and then you guys can do all that stuff.
Well, I
Rudy,
do all the tracks at my place. I just did a tune actually with Eric Nesda. Eric Nesda recorded a tune back in 2001 called True Heroes, and he had the audio file. So he just dropped it off outside my house. I replaced his piano track with my track, played string stuff, remixed it, rearranged it. Arcadi's violin was already on it. It's gotten a lot of Channel 10 used it. WBNS used it for a show called Heroes Don't Always Wear Capes. So they played it, and there's a radio station in Detroit that played it. But we did it virtually, you know what I'm saying, without Zoom. I mean, Zoom's not the best sound quality, but shoot, I can take that song of yours right now. If you just send me the bridge, I'll put it all together for you, man.
I can send you the bridge.
Good. And then you can just put your voice all over it, and there you go.
Oh man,
we got a record deal coming. We got a record deal.
You're gonna be a star.
I'll just produce it, arrange it. There you go.
At 61, I become a country songwriter. Yeah, that's how it's gonna go, right?
It's like Crazy Heart or something.
That'll be your career. 20 years from now, you're gonna go on every talk show, and they're only gonna pull you out to sing that damn song, and then you're just gonna drink yourself to death.
Yeah. Hey man, do that chorus. You'll be like the guy that does Wagon Wheel. They won't care about any other song you do. Just do the damn Wagon.
Do the song we know. Play it again.
Do it.
there are some perks to being isolated. Apparently, you shit out songs in 10 minutes, and people dig them. That's just me hacking away. I nowhere compare myself to a Dave Powers or a John Schwab or an Eric Nesna or any of those great guys that do it for real. But
Weird Al Yankovic, maybe, I don't know,
maybe it's Haywood Banks.
Haywood Banks. There you
go.
Something like that.
Yep.
But I want to thank everybody before we go tonight. Dave Powers, so much for joining us. I know you just did 3 blistering hours of Facebook Live, and then you joined us as well. So thank you, man.
What a highlight to my evening. It's great to talk to you guys. Hang out.
I don't think you've ever said no to me whenever I've asked you to do something over the years. Never.
Of course
never.
Not.
We've had to schedule it, but you've never ever said no.
Maybe,
and you don't
maybe
know how
this
much
course for Corona might be the first time he has to say no. The first time for everything.
Oh, man. And Rudy,
I'm going to do it Friday night. Dino, I'm going to play it Friday night on my Facebook Live show.
All right.
Live. I'm going to perform the damn thing live.
Then I have to send you the bridge. Okay,
you better send me the bridge then.
I'll send you the bridge.
I will perform it live on Friday. This Friday. No kidding.
See, that's how good you are, Dave. He already knows the chords and the words. He's got it.
Three chords. That's all I know. It's a G, a C, and an F. I think it's
every country music song.
So Boxer didn't air the bridge.
No, he didn't have the bridge at the time. He didn't have the bridge at the time. It was bothering me that it didn't have a bridge, and so I had to finish it. It was making me crazy. It was like an unfinished short story or a novel or a script, whatever. It made me nuts, so I had to finish it. That's just how my brain works.
All right.
But thank you, Dave. Rudy, thank you so much for being with us as well, man.
Rudy, it's nice to meet you. Rudy.
Tell Adam and the gang, thank you so much. Continued success over at High Bank. I hope you guys, when you get back to normal, that you just continue to I hope people will just be so anxious to get back there and enjoy the food at the restaurant, and of course the whiskey they can still enjoy right now. But thank you for all your efforts with the sanitizer. It's on a huge long way. It's just one fine example of what everybody is doing, whatever they can to make a difference. You know, Dave Powers plays his music for people who are sad and depressed, and you guys are making sanitizer for people who are desperately wanting to feel safe and clean. And on that same note, even though I say it week after week, I cannot do this podcast without these two fine gentlemen to my left and my right. John Whitney on the video side, or I said John Whitney on. There you go, John Whitney on the video.
You went backwards.
I know. And Greg Hansberry on the audio side.
Greg,
belated birthday boy. All I do is talk. These guys make all the magic happen with the audio and the video.
Let me remind everybody on the business.
More time before I say an official good night. Absolutely.
And Rudy, it's highbankco.com. Is that right, man?
Yeah, highbankco.com. And I just want to point out, Dino, I also have never denied you anytime you've asked me to be.
Never. You're 1 for 1, my friend.
I'm 1 for 1. So
you're batting 1,000. You're batting 1,000.
There you go. And then
you did kind of deny me, Rudy, a little bit.
Well, how's that? How's that?
Haircut.
Yeah. Oh, haircut.
We won't count it.
And again, Dave, I remember last time we talked to you, there was a GoFundMe page going around for musicians, local musicians. Is that do you have info on that, or is that?
I wish I could get you the information.
Okay, all right. I'll tell you what, Dave. Hold on to that. We will make sure that we have a link. I'll get with you after the show. We'll post a link on Whiskey Business's social media account, also with the podcast stuff there. But yeah, this episode, the variety show Whiskey Business, has been streaming live on Facebook. So if you're listening right now on your favorite podcasting platform, thank you for subscribing and listening.
And on YouTube.
And on YouTube. Wait, hold on. I got it backwards. If you're listening, Thank you. Thank you for listening. But what I was going to say is you can watch this video on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, YouTube Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis. We've been doing a lot more of these Facebook Live videos, so you can kind of see some of the fun visuals that we've been able to add in. And likewise, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, thank you. Don't forget to hit the reminder bells and all the subscribe functions and stuff. But if maybe you're out on a Sunday drive, you can listen to the Whiskey Business Podcast. We have archives of 3 or 4 years now of stuff that you can find on your favorite podcasting app. Also on Instagram, Twitter, all of this stuff, whiskeybusinesspod.com. And we'll make sure that this week we have links to Rudy and Dave and everything that we kind of talked about. So thanks a lot. We appreciate the support. It's been fun.
And before we go, I want to just to pull a few comments out for people that have been watching us tonight and say thank you. Tara Leach, some of my favorite guys. Tara, thank you so much for that. Sarah says happy birthday to the boys. Brian Stumpo, we'll give you a shout out. You're a dedicated listener. Hey, today is my anniversary and tomorrow is Dexter's birthday. Brian Stumpo, happy anniversary and happy birthday. What kind of an
anniversary is it going to be if he's spending his evening watching this nonsense?
He said today is my anniversary. Well, hey, they're doing what they can. Happy belated birthday to Hansberry and Dino from Sarah. Brian Stumpo, happy birthday, you degenerate. Thank you. I just told you happy anniversary, and now you're calling me a degenerate. Nice. Nice. Oh, man, so funny. My daughter was listening tonight.
Thanks, Danielle.
Ordering a DVD player to relive the whole thing right now. She was actually at my roast. Holy shit, the best night ever. It was a pretty incredible night, baby girl. It was. Sarah says, please have an all-music guest show. This was so much fun. All right.
Sorry, Sarah.
Not a bad idea. I don't think that was a slight.
Sorry.
It's just more fun to make it a slight. It wasn't.
And Rick Andreessen, who was listening from the get-go, says, great show. Well, we're trying, people. We're trying. Whiskey Business is a Never the Luck production, produced, like I said earlier, on the audio side by the amazing Greg Hansberry, and the video side by the incredible John Whitney, and hosted by yours truly, Dino Tripodis. Tonight, the guest bottle has been Old Elk, $50 a bottle. Worth it. Check it out if you want to pick it up. It's just started showing up on Columbus shelves in the last couple of years. So check it out if you like it. I found it to be refreshing this evening. And me, your host, Dino Tripodis, as I say on every podcast, until the next bottle, see ya.